Multitasking is one of the worst things you can do because it makes you feel like you're being super busy and super productive and you're doing lots of stuff. But actually, what it's doing is it's doing the opposite. It's making you very unproductive. Try it out. On a piece of paper, write the sentence, I am a great multitasker. And underneath that, write the numbers 1 to 20 and time yourself. When I did that activity, it took me 20 seconds to write both of those things. And then in activity 2, I want you to do the same thing again, but this time you're going to alternate the letters and the numbers. So you will write, I am a great multitasker, but you will write the letter I first and then go to number 1 and then A, 2, M, 3, A, 4, and so on and so forth until you get to the end of the sentence, I am a great multitasker, and the numbers 1 to 20. Time yourself. When I did it, it took me 41 seconds. So over twice the amount of time it took for me to write the same things when I was focused on just one thing at a time. And it's quite a simple concept. Our brains can only process so much information at one time. So when you're flitting from one to another, it's having to work harder and actually you become less productive. Apparently, there's only 2% of the population who can do some form of multitasking. So if you think about it, the likelihood of it being you or me is very, very slim. And being distracted, and that's probably why a lot of us multitask, is actually hardwired in our brains. If you think about years and years ago when we had to watch out for woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers coming to attack us or eat us, we couldn't be completely consumed and focused on one thing. We needed to be aware of what was going on around us, because if we weren't and we weren't distracted, we would get eaten or attacked. And actually, that survival instinct is incredibly important even in today's society, because if we're walking on the street, say we're so focused on walking, we don't notice what's going on around us. We could have a car that's coming towards us and have no idea about it. So being distracted is not a bad thing, but it is detrimental when you are trying to be productive, when you want to and need to be focused on a task. So one way of overcoming that is scheduling in time for each of the tasks that you're doing and stick to that. Make it a habit, make it something that you do all the time. And also make sure that you set realistic time limits for each task too. Because if you set 1 hour for a task, you will probably get it done in an hour. A little bit of pressure, you're going to get that done. Think of your university assignments that you had to do, for those of us who like to leave it to the last second. I know I was like that. And I always got the assignments done and I always managed to hand them in on time. But that little bit of pressure, I always got it done in a much shorter space of time. And then, you know, if you schedule 2 hours to do it, you'll get it done in 2 hours. And if you schedule in 3 hours, you'll get it done in 3 hours. It's Parkinson's law. We will do that as human beings. So make sure that you make a conscious effort to use the right amount of time for each of those things. And it's good for our well-being. Make sure you put your phone somewhere else so that that little red flag or that little ping or that little message doesn't distract you. Because the last thing you want to do is have to spend on average 25 minutes to get back on task to regain that focus. That's what the research shows. So that 30 seconds of you checking the news or 30 seconds checking that message or what's going on X, it's actually going to take you nearly 30 minutes to get yourself back into that flow, to get back into the work. So it's great for mental health and well-being too. Try it out and let me know in the comments.